Looks like it's live. 3, 2, 1. We're live. Hey, internet friend. This is MagicBrad, Synergy Cafe, and I've got another friend from the UK area across, and I just find it fascinating that we can talk from here in the United States to another person in the United Kingdom. His name is Tom Zulu. Tom, are you there?
I am, Brad. Thank you for having me on. Really, really excited to be onto the Synergy Cafe.
This is fun. So what I do is I just ask some basic questions of who, what, where, when, how, and why, and then we get into some talk, just general, about the internet and business and lifestyle and things of that sort. So the first thing is, who is Tom? Do you got kids?
Oh, wow. Who's Tom? Has to. Well, I'm a husband. Yes, I have kids. I got 3 boys. For some reason, I think we only do boys, which is probably easier to deal with. From my perspective, anyway. From my perspective, anyway. I lived over here in the UK with my family, and I do a lot of traveling. We just come back on a 8-month stint from Africa, and run my business online, as you say, and probably one of the things that I'm really, really excited about. And I suppose I'm more than that, and I fit in with a lot of stuff. You know, I help in my community, do a lot of volunteering. I coach a lot of young people, something I'm really, really passionate about.
Okay, that's kind of getting into the area of the next question is what? What do you do? What do you do for fun, and what do you do for work, for a living?
Probably let's start with the fun bit. What do I do for fun? We spend a lot of time with the kids and just goofing around. I do a lot of reading. I love to read. When I'm relaxing, I love to cook. I think it's really, really calming. And if you heard about Gordon Ramsay is a well-known chef. So I tend to run a competition with Gordon Ramsay in my kitchen with music in the background playing, and I'm cooking. In terms of business, I run an online business, I suppose, from anywhere. Travel has a travel theme to it, a travel and a lifestyle business. Really, really excited about it, and especially the expansion of where the company is at this point in time.
Okay. Yeah, I like the concept of travel. I've been in some businesses, and I've got some that I promote the whole idea of, I mean, everybody wants to go somewhere, it seems like.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The next question is, where do you do your business? I'm assuming that when you travel everywhere in the world, but where do you do your business? Do you have like a home office, or do you have like a regular office downtown, or where do you do your work?
Well, my business is just with me, Brad. I do it just about anywhere. So this is my office, more or less. If you can see that little phone and my laptop. So wherever I am, that's exactly where I do the business. In fact, it's funny. I was talking to a guy from Israel who works. It's an IT manager. He was working on my laptop, and just through talking and connecting, we found out about similar things in terms of travel. We love traveling, and now he's sitting, I don't know how many miles away from me, and became a business partner. So that's the beauty of, I suppose, having this sort of, mobile business compared to the standard brick and mortar business.
That's very true, and we'll talk later after I ask these few questions about because I understand the travel business. That's what's interesting about it, how global travel actually is. So
Absolutely.
The next question is when? When do you have like regular office hours, like a 9 to 5, or do you work like because it's 24/7? Do you work on call when someone wants to join the travel club or something? You can just call them up at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning? Or do you have regular office hours, or when do you do your work?
No, I mean, whilst I don't have real office hour, what I try to do is to discipline myself to fit around few things that are important to me. My son, is very, very important. He's only 7 years, so his school is literally about, well, I don't know, 10 minutes walk from here. So whatever I try to do, I fit it around with that time. There's no fixed time. That's the beauty of it. I could do it now with you. In fact, just after this call, I'm going to see a chap at our local library. He's interested, so want a little bit more information, and that's me done for the day. And people who want to find out a little bit about the business, that's social media, they can go on and they contact me. When it comes through when and where, but I try to fit it. What's important is trying to fit it around your family time. What I mean by that is, I'd rather have a business that fits in with those things that are important to me, like my family, rather than fitting my family around my business, so to speak.
Okay. Well, that kind of goes into the next question when you're talking about family, and this is my favorite question, and I always say that every time I do one of these interviews, and that is the big why. Why is it that you do what you do as opposed to why aren't you like an accountant or a banker or a construction worker, or why don't you work at a bakery, or you like to cook? Why aren't you like a chef at a restaurant? Why do you do what you do?
I probably leave the cooking to Gordon Ramsay, but why? It's very, very good question though. For me, one of the biggest thing, and especially from where I come from, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about that at a later point in Liberia. I got a huge, massive family, and that's really, really important to me. In terms of my background, we come from a society where when you're lucky to be like the breadwinner or somebody that's out there and at least or made it, whatever that means, and to you're like the support for the rest of the gang to bring them along, to inspire them, to give them a little bit of hope and help them along, like a chain gang surfing. But I've also seen the lifestyle this kind of business offers us also. And I talked about my son. We've got two young boys. One is 7 and one 11 years old. So I enjoy the lifestyle tremendously, but it's also giving something back to the kids and centering our life around the family. You know, those are the people that got me to where I am. They inspire me. And some days when I'm down, that's my wife is the closest person around. My two boys are the closest people around. Some days, they get on you, but they're there keeping me going. And for me, that's why I do what I do. Is to be able to be in a position to spend a lot of time with them, but also to share the benefits and enjoyment that this kind of business brings.
Okay,
So
I
that's my
totally
driving
get it.
force.
That's almost the same answer I get almost all the time from most people is the connection of either family or people, community. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
about serving others, and then it
absolutely,
helps you.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
well, let's talk a little bit about the travel industry. I know that I've always loved travel, and years ago, before all the internet stuff, they used to have what they call a travel agent, and they were
Yes,
all over the place. And people would you'd go to them, and they would put together all your travel for you. But now it's internet-based. I mean, stuff like Priceline and Travelocity and all those
yeah,
different on-site thing or online things. But what I think is really interesting about the travel as a business is it's applicable in almost any country in the world because it's kind of the same. Like a Hilton hotel here is very similar to a Hilton
yeah,
hotel over in the UK.
yeah.
So that's why I think the travel industry via internet business is so much. It's I'll even say superior to some of these other businesses that are like health products because when
Yeah,
you go across the border, there's all sorts of regulations and stuff. But there's not a lot of
I,
regulations with airfare over to the UK. Or I took my wife to Spain, and
yeah.
an airplane is an airplane. It just got a different logo on the side.
Absolutely. You're so right. And the thing with the other industry that you talked about, in fact, when you look at the travel industry, I think right now it's about $8 trillion business. And apparently, in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to double. All you need to do is go to your local airport and you'll see people traveling. And there's no much restriction because we don't own the planes, we don't own the hotel. All we're saying is we're giving you credit travel and say, look, you can get it at a discounted price. But yes, another way you can also get involved, share with your network, and make some money out of it. It's a fascinating concept, absolutely a fascinating concept. I mean, who doesn't love travel? If you call up 10 of your closest friends right now and told them, listen, guys, we're organizing a travel, party or whatever it is, we're going away. Do you want to come? I can assure you, at least 9.9% of those will
Yeah.
want to come.
It's very true. I mean, people have been traveling I mean, by taking one step, that's traveling, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
My brother doesn't like to travel. He used to go to Las Vegas once in a while, but his extent of travel, he lives in Minnesota and he goes up north to the races. He doesn't
Okay.
travel much. but he's one of the very few. Other than that, people love to travel. And I think the other thing that's really cool about promoting travel is as soon as you have an idea to go to Hawaii or Bali, or my wife loves Spain, as soon as you have the idea, you're excited. Then when you go, you're having fun and experiencing it, and you're excited. And then when you're done, you tell all your friends.
And you can share it with all your friends. Yeah, so true. And that's the thing. Immediately you I mean, we're going away to Belgium and Holland for the Christmas, and then coming back. So already we're discussing what we're going to be doing. We're planning stuff. Everybody's involved into travel. And just to touch back on the theme you talked about, mentioned about family. This is one of the first business really that I got my whole family involved in. A lot of the stuff I would originally start them off, then I let my boss know, as I like to refer to my wife, and tell her, look, this is what we're doing, and she's always very, very supportive. But this was the first time we really got together as a family with the boys and said, look, this is what we're doing, come on board. And they got really, really excited about the places. They even picked up places we're going to go eventually and travel to. And I think it's great to have your family involved in a business that you're into. It makes it a win-win situation, so to speak.
I totally agree. So I like to keep these interviews kind of short so people can just watch the interview and get to know, like, and trust us.
Yeah.
So they can see our faces. They know that we're humans and we're not some scam artist in some third world country. So if you would send me some links of how people can get a hold of you, possibly if you have a website or a Facebook page or something, I will post that on this video so that people can contact you. And you're in the UK, but the reality is anybody could join your business from anywhere in the world. But sometimes people like to meet people face to face. Perhaps they'll meet you in a coffee shop. So right now we're about almost 15 minutes into it. So I'm going to close this off, and then if you want, you and I can chat a little bit after, and I can get those links from you, and I'll embed those in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me on to Synergy Cafe. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for watching, wherever you are, whoever you are. Peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad, Synergy Cafe. Be well. Enjoy your life. Peace.